Just need a little bit more time. You said you understood. You take care of me.
I don't want to hear what the doctor has to say. I want my son. But just like everything else, you can't get that right.
I'm sorry.
For once, you're right. You are sorry.
Welcome to another episode of Amplify Social Justice Podcast with Darrin L. Harris. Here, we don't just talk about change. We create space for the truth that society tries to quiet. This is where we elevate narrative, challenge the status quo, and amplify the voices that demand to be heard. Tonight's conversation is heavy, and it is necessary, and it is entirely unpolished. So we're going to be diving deep into intersections of trauma, artistic survival, and systemic erasure. Joining me tonight is a powerhouse. She's a filmmaker, a producer, a certified peer support specialist, and the founder of a nonprofit, Pushing Past the Hurt. She is the visionary behind the groundbreaking film, Untold Secrets of a Plus Size Diva, a project that fiercely strips away the mask from domestic violence, emotional abuse, and body shaming. And she is currently building the next chapter, this movement, through a brand new sequel. And I'm excited to have on the show today, no other than Sylvia, Silky Diva, the Silky Diva Wilson. Welcome to the show. So Sylvia, you've spoken openly about how your own confidence and self-esteem were forged in the fire of enduring trials, from being ostracized because of your physique and survival of domestic and emotional abuse. When you look back at the versions of yourself that was still trapped in the hurt, what is the untold secret about survival that you wish you knew back then?
I wish I knew that there was a way out, that I could have went and talked to somebody about what was going on, but I kept it all to myself because it was embarrassing, number one. And I didn't come from a domestic violence or even a body shaming type background from my parents. Not saying it wasn't from others, but I just wasn't used to that. So I wanted to try to keep that hidden, number one, because that wasn't me. I wasn't used to that, and I didn't want anybody else to know that. So more of being ashamed than anything.
Okay. Thank you for responding to that. You know, often society expects survivors to immediately transition into being strong or healed for the sake of others. Now, as a certified peer support specialist, how do you sit with the reality that healing isn't linear, right? What does it look like to give yourself permission to not be okay, even when you're trying to inspire others?
So to me, giving myself permission to not be okay and to talk to others about it, I immediately let them know that it takes time. And, you know, there's no timeline for it either. So it has taken me years, and this happened a long time ago with me. So it's taken me years to even get to where I am right now. So what I do a lot of praying. I do a lot of crying. Of course, it's behind the doors. So, you know, you wouldn't see that in me out in person. But I did learn to be able to talk to others about it and make them comfortable, even when I wasn't comfortable. But I have to pray, and still today is the same way.
Now, you have written and produced a very successful movie. I've seen it a couple of times. In fact, I'm such a fan, you probably can't see this, but I keep my poster everywhere I go. There it is right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have my poster. I've seen it in Atlanta. I've seen it at Montgomery and several times on, and I know it's now on Tubi and probably a couple other spaces. But a question for you. So the first film follows several women, plus size women, confronting love, betrayal, deep personal struggles. Why was it vital for you? Why was it vital for you to show successful women dealing with these hidden battles, particularly domestic violence? And how does the intersection of body shaming make it even harder for plus size women to speak out and be believed?
I think, well, for me, those women were me, first of all. Each one of them were a bit of me during different periods of my life. So the body shaming, it didn't just start. It started as a child, started with bullying, then body shaming, and then went on into the domestic violence thing through marriage. So it was very important to me to make sure that my story was told. And you can believe that's not even all of the story, but it was what I could, touch on at that particular time. But just wanting, especially the plus size woman who's always been ostracized and looked down upon, not made to be felt like they're beautiful or anything. And it's because of the outer physical appearance. So I just thought that it was very important that other women who are like me, plus size comes in so many different shapes and sizes of plus, but just important to let everybody know that on the plus size spectrum, especially women, let them know that we are beautiful and that we deserve to have everything that the smaller woman has. So, and we often I'm not saying I allowed the domestic abuse, but I think I kind of let it continue, is what I want to say, because our self-esteem is so low. And I know mine was through the floor during that time. So, we allow things, and we often don't think that we're worthy,
So what was that moment where you said to yourself, I'm better than this situation? How did you get out? Who helped you out? Because somebody's probably listening to us right now and they're experiencing the exact same situation. And your story is a story of hope. And so can you share with someone who may be in, and speak directly to them, who may be in that space right now? And of course, we know that domestic violence doesn't just happen to women, but it also happens to men. Yeah. So can you speak to those individuals who might be listening to this?
So as far as getting out, it did take a while. Because number one, I was one at that time that did not believe in divorce. I did not believe that the woman should leave the man's side. And that was just my thinking, at that time. So it took me a very long time to leave, even though the domestic violence was getting worse and worse. And I did realize at some point you have to say no and you have to stop, because the more you take them back, because that happened so many times, because he would say, I'm not going to do it again, and it was done over and over and over. But I had to come to a point to where I said no, and I still was going to stay, but I was forced out. Let me say that. So I am a survivor, because I could have been up under the ground or in the upper room, as I say, because that was his ultimate thing, was what he wanted to do. So I was basically forced out. So I did leave, and I left because of my children, most importantly, because they were small, but children remember everything, and they were seeing those types of things, that was going on. So I left because of them too.
And is there any word of hope that you can give to someone in this moment that might be in that situation?
Yes, of course, I would love it because I didn't do it at the time. You have to let somebody know what's going on. And I did not, like I said, because of the shame, because of who I was, and, because of my upbringing. I did not let anybody know. My parents didn't know. Nobody knew because I hid it so well. And with me, the bruises were not visible, so nobody could see those bruises. So it was almost like I was just the same person. I led a normal life. I worked, I still went out and pursued my craft. I took care of my children. But on the inside, it was awful. So I would tell them, please let somebody know. You have to have somebody that you can trust. And I didn't trust anybody at that time because I didn't want to put more ostracizing on top of what was already going on. I didn't want to hear the chatter and hear people say, well, you shouldn't have done this, or you shouldn't have done that, or you should do this. Nobody knows what you'll do doing, those types of things. So I say, let somebody know. You have to trust somebody.
And that's a great segue into our next segment, because saying something is important. And that's what this social justice podcast is about. It's about saying something, right? It's about not being silenced. Like I have on the sweatshirt, silence is not an option. And in a situation that is true. Now, back to the movie, the first movie, there is a scene or an underlining theme in your work where faith and sisterhood become the catalyst for truth.
Yes.
In your experience, why does domestic violence thrive so deeply in isolation? And what is the exact moment sisterhood breaks that armor?
Yes, so I think domestic violence is able to thrive when you're isolated because there's no one there but you. And they, be it man or woman, they know that they can capitalize on those things because you are alone, because you feel alone. You don't want anybody to know, but you feel alone because there's nobody there to talk to. So bringing in those sisters is, one of the most beautiful thing. And I really didn't have the sisters to bring along, so I was my own sisters. But to have someone like that, you have to have somebody to help lift you up, to tell you that you're beautiful, even when you don't know that yourself or you don't feel it. So you make sure that you have somebody to lift you up because you never know what other people are going through. And then when that conversation is able to flow, then you're able to talk about it more. You're able to deal with it a little bit more. And just praying. When I tell you faith and prayer, that was my holy ground. I needed that so often, and I made sure that I do that. So I did not allow the disconnect from God. I did not allow that. Even that, that was something that he didn't believe in, but I never allowed that to creep in. It was just other things, like I said, trying to be faithful, trying to make sure that I kept that husband-wife thing together.
So in the movie, The Untold Secrets of Plus Size Diva, there's sisterhood all over. And there's some very powerful moments. If you can tell us about because they all have unique names, each character, and they're all experiencing different situations. Right. For those who may not have seen the movie and who may want to see it after they see this particular podcast, tell us a little bit about each of those women. And why maybe you chose those names for them. And let's get them excited about going to see that movie.
Yeah. So let's start with Pearl. So Pearl was the pure one, but she had a little edge to her. So Pearl dealt with a lot of infidelity, but she had faith that she and her husband would be able to work it out. So she took him back over and over, even during that infidelity. But Pearl was a very strong figure in the movie as well. So more like the big confidence type. So she was the one that was the strong one out of it. Then we had the Emerald Diva. The Emerald Diva was the one that was the rich diva, the ritzy diva. Her husband traveled all the time. She knew he was doing things that he shouldn't have been doing. but she did not allow that to get to her. So she would immerse herself in shopping and all of those types of things. Then there was the Ruby Diva. Ruby Diva was the one who always clung to her sisters because at home she was living in just a nightmare. She got abused for even opening her mouth. She did not have the ability to even speak. So she got a lot of abuse at home, even in public. You know, she was not valued by her mate. So her color was red. Oh, Pearl was white, Emerald green, and then Ruby was red. So then also there was the Golden Diva. The Golden Diva was the one that had, you know, a little more confidence, but her husband loved her, but he was believing what his friends and family said, that she wasn't worthy of him because she was a big girl. So Golden basically, she kind of kept it in a more sort of like comedic type way. You know, she would keep that hidden until the girls got together. Then I had Diva Sapphire. Diva Sapphire was one, she didn't have a lot of family love. She was blue. So Diva Sapphire would really cling to the sisters. She had a foster sister. So she came from a pretty rocky background. Diva Crystal was the church diva. So she didn't really deal in a lot of relationship type stuff, but she was a church diva. And then Silky Diva, who was me. So the Silky Diva was the more grounded in faith, even though she had things going on with infidelity and everything. She was like the workaholic. And she was really the one that everybody would run and talk to about their problems. So through that sisterhood, through optimism, through faith, we were all able to kind of deal better with what was going on in our personal lives.
Yeah, very, very good movie. Some great scenes in it. I don't want to give the movie away, but you know what my favorite parts are. They'll have to go and look at the movie, and you're going to find a favorite scene or several favorite scenes that you want to rewind over and over, because I do it all the time. So without giving the plot away, because there's something else about to happen. What does the next chapter of Plus Size Diva journey evolve into? And tell us a little bit about what's coming up. And if you would like, just share, do a deep dive into, you know, what healing is going to come out of your next project, any, barriers, things that people should look forward to.
Mm-hmm. So the next one is the sequel to Untold Secrets, and I will give you the title. It's called Plus Size Diva's Revelation. So in Plus Size Diva's Revelation, that what we dive into now, we've gotten some of those secrets out. But of course, you can't always get all secrets out. So now what we're doing is we're talking more about redemption. There's a lot of forgiveness, but still there are a lot of underlying problems that we did not let out doing Untold Secrets. But we're able to cope just a little bit more this time. And the end product of this one, again, would be a lot of healing. You're going to see relationships healed. You're going to see friendships get rocky, but then they're going to be healed. Just still dealing with the faith of it, of everything, and keeping God first.
So when the credits roll from this new movie, what emotions do you want people to sit with as those credits go up from this next movie?
So from the next movie, I do want them to feel a sense of that they can handle anything through faith, through sisterhood, just through making sure that you're keeping everything at the altar is what I want them to do. Of course, you're going to cry a little bit, and don't be afraid to cry. Don't be afraid to know that things are not always going to be okay for you, but you have to still deal with those things. And again, talk to somebody. You have to find somebody that you can talk to. I know a lot of people don't trust anybody, but you have to trust somebody. And then love yourself is the most important thing. And know that one size does not fit us all. So all of us are not going to be a size 2 to 8. We have some 16s, 18, 22s. We even have some 32s. So, we're beautiful. Everybody's beautiful in their own way, be it on the outside, but I think beauty comes from the inside out. So just, be able to kind of just take a look back at yourself, look at the good things that you've done. Don't always look at the negative. So that's what I want them to feel. I want them to feel as if they're healed and they'll be able to move along successfully in their lives.
All right. Thank you for sharing that. We're just about done, but I want to bring up something that's really important in this conversation, because independent Black filmmaking that tackles raw social justice issues is historically underfunded. For corporations or individual sponsors looking at crowdfunding campaigns, why is investing in Plus Size Diva not just an investment on entertainment, but an investment in cultural advocacy and mental health awareness?
Yes. So if you would sponsor or even invest in this project, it gives an opportunity to those who are unseen. Everybody's going to support a Hollywood film, but these are independent film. They need to be seen. These stories need to be told because they do bring about not only awareness, they bring about closeness. They bring about things that, in communities that people would not even, look at. So just the marginalized community. So you want to make sure that you're able to support these type of things. We want our cast to be paid. We want them to be fed. We want to involve the community and just shed a light, so that everybody will, kind of be able to know what's going on, be able to just even be a part of it. So we want to make sure that our sponsors are not only sponsoring, but they are having an opportunity to be a part of the journey that we're taking.
Okay. So what specific tiers of sponsorships or grassroots support are you looking for right now? And how can people who are listening right now find you on your platform or partner with you financially to get this story to the screen?
Okay, so we have several levels of sponsorship. We have just a plain community sponsorship, which starts at about $250, not to leave out the $5, the $1, but you can do that as well. But that community sponsorship is where we'll be able to have, when they sponsor, they'll be able to have their names visible on our website, on our social media platforms. Then we also have a bronze level. That bronze level, you will be able to feature your logo and have you on end credits on social media as well. And we'll even invite you to our private screenings. We're looking at having a lot of just premieres going on all over the United States, hopefully. Then there's a silver sponsor. That silver sponsor is $1,000. With that one, again, you'll get your logo and your credits on our website, on all of our platforms, our marketing platforms as well. You'll be able to get tickets to the premieres if it's in your area. Just a lot of very beautiful perks. Then we have the platinum sponsor, which is $5,000 up to $10,000. Then again, with that one, you'll get VIP seating, you'll get VIP screening. We'll even shout you out. You can talk to your favorite diva if you want. We're going to have VIP things that are going to be going on. And our premieres are off the chain. So we offer some very nice things at our premieres. Also, the executive sponsor is just what it is. That's $10,000 plus. With that executive sponsor, you will have an opportunity to even come and be a part doing filming. So you'll get a chance to even do cameo appearances for that as well. You can donate through our website, which is plussizedivas.com. We will have the logo and the donation button all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, just all over. So you can donate if you want to as well. You can donate $1, whatever you have. No amount is too small for what we're doing.
Well, I tell you what, I am looking forward to this sequel. I know it's going to be better and greater because every time, we talk, I can just hear the excitement in your voice about what's about to happen. Well, I appreciate your time and your commitment and showing up on our podcast today. But before we give or go off line here, I want to be able to give people who are listening who may be dealing with domestic violence issues right now. I want to give them official hotline number so that they can call, because that's really important to get connected. And because, it's a safe step for women to take, for men to take, who are trying to figure out how to live.
Yes.
And they could just simply, call that number. Is there anything else you want to leave with our listening audience before I share that information?
I really do. It's one part I really left out. We are going to open up the church house so that we can see some of the things. We might get some backlash from this, but we're going to see some things that are going on in the church as well. So we really want everybody to just hold tight to your seats so that you can see what's going to happen in the church house. We have a bishop and a first lady and several side pieces that are going to set the film on fire. So we can't wait on that. We really want you to see that. And it's all reality, it's the truth. It's everyday things that are going on, which are often swept under the rug. So we want to bring light to everything and show that even though these things are going on, like you said, there is healing from it. There's forgiveness. So we just want to we want to entertain while keeping God at the forefront.
Amen. I'm looking forward to the sequel. So thank you once again for being with us tonight. Sylvia, the Silky Diva Wilson.
Thank you.
So if you're listening to us tonight and you've heard some things that really resonate with you, and maybe you're in a situation and you're looking for help, I would like to share with you a few numbers or information where you can get help right now. So there is a national domestic violence hotline, and that number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Once again, it's 1-800-799-SAFE. And that SAFE is just 7233. Or you can text the word START, START, and it's 24 hours, 7 days a week. It's confidential. They speak more than 200 languages. And so even if you can't speak safely because of where you are, there's a website that you can go to. All right. This is the end of our show for now. Until next time. Next time you come on and come back on, we got to talk about the movie a little bit more. And just different things. But I really enjoyed this conversation. I know it was kind of heavy and kind of deep, but thank you for sharing your personal story and experience with our listening audience. Yes. And until next time, I hope to see you sooner than later.
Yes.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Have a good night.